Hey y'all, good morning. I have got kids at home. Our school got canceled today because of a power outage. So they're requesting chocolate gravy. That's our go-to when the kids are at home. And I've had a lot of requests for this over the years in my regular life of what I do. So I'm just gonna kind of show y'all. I do 4, sometimes 5. I'm not a big measurer because this is my grandmother, my Grandma Walker's recipe. So that's about how much flour I do. And then we do cocoa. I like Hershey's personally. Cocoa. And you do 4, not heaping, just regular. Again, until my daughter started making this, I really never measured much, any of it. And then it is a cup of sugar. Oh my goodness, I hope I've got milk. This is what happens to me. I get in the middle of making something, I don't even know if I've got all the ingredients. So let me see. We do. If you have Brahms close to you, it's best milk ever. That's all I buy. And you fill the pan up about 3/4 of the way. I don't measure the milk. I just eyeball it. I cook a lot, so a lot of my recipes don't really have a measurement. And then when you're cooking it, you want to, as you can see, I'm real organized. And when you're cooking it, you've got to first stir it. Then you're going to cook it on medium heat. Whether you're cooking on an electric stove or a gas stove, I personally love a gas stove. But if you don't have a gas stove, of course you can make it on electric. It takes a little bit longer on an electric stove. I put this on medium heat, but you have to sit and stir this like this constantly. You can't stop or it gets clumpy. And it can also scorch because of the heat being on the milk. So you've just got to, hey baby, you've just got to stir it as you're going and not stop. And this takes about 10 or 15 minutes. So what I personally like to do is already have my biscuits ready. So once I get the heat turned on, I'll just go ahead and throw this in. So now these are going. I don't time it or any time my gravy, but it's about 10 to 15. Probably 10 minutes on gas, 15 on electric. And Shub wants cinnamon rolls, so his daddy made him some cinnamon rolls. Are we doing bacon? Oh, you just pulled that out? Okay.
No, that was already out.
That's fine. We can do bacon sandwiches for lunch. But that's how you make chocolate gravy. It's pretty simple. I'll update you about 7 or 8 minutes in. We'll get to that point where this is, but you have to just sit here. And Shay can even tell you if I'm making this and I need to do something else, like if we're making a big breakfast, he'll stir for me while I do other things. You cannot, this is a stand here, don't leave it. You stir the entire time you're making it or it does not turn out well. So we'll cut and then we'll come back once it starts to thicken, but this is all I'm gonna be standing here doing for the next 7 to 10 minutes. I've been stirring about 8 minutes, and so you can look at the consistency of the gravy. And so it's still just getting thicker. I just am gonna keep stirring, maybe 1 more minute, 2 more minutes. Like I said, this is gonna go a lot quicker on a gas stove than it does on an electric stove.
Why do you call it chocolate gravy? You tell them like gravy. Some people think it's gravy.
Gravy. Well, Shay's like, why do you call it chocolate gravy? Well, that's what my grandma called it. And
But it's not gravy.
it is gravy. You eat it over biscuits. It's a gravy consistency. It's made with flour.
Oh, okay.
But it's not, it's real sweet. It's not, I know when people think of gravy, they think of, you know, sausage gravy. This is a sweet gravy. It is still a gravy. Most people think of a gravy not being sweet, but this is a sweet gravy that you eat over biscuits. So now you can see the consistency. It's just about, this is how you want it to be. It's got to get a little bit thicker. maybe 30 seconds, and we'll be there. And then we're just about there. Again, you do not want to stop stirring at any time while it's on heat, because it will clump very quickly. And I used to stir it with a spoon when I was younger and I first learned how to make this. I found over the years it's better with a whisk. So you see how thick it is now? So this is, my extended family's from Oklahoma, way in the wee country of out in the middle of nowhere. This was one of their specialties they did for a treat. My grandma that made this all the time had 10 kids. So this was something she did for them. So you take it off the heat immediately once it's thickened. And then you're going to use, I like to cook with pure vanilla. And you do a teaspoon. Baby, can you get me some butter? I cook personally, let's see, I don't like anything imitation when I'm cooking. So I use pure vanilla. And we do, what is that? I don't really measure this actually, but I'm going to today. I think this is a half a teaspoon. It needs at least a teaspoon, so I'll just do 2 of these. But
it's funny you're measuring.
I never measure, I just pour it in. But for your purpose, I'm gonna measure. And then I sometimes do a full stick, depending on how much I make, half a stick, just depending on who's eating it. A half a stick's plenty. And you keep it off the heat. But this is gonna melt in. You stir that in and that butter's gonna melt inside there. Oh, it's so good. And then your biscuits. Let's check our biscuits. Should be about done. Oh, they're done. See, it's perfect timing. Yes, perfect timing. And we like to break them up. My daddy just cuts it in half.
He put the cinnamon rolls down there too.
Thank you. Those aren't that.
Okay.
So my daddy just cuts them in half. The kids and I like to break them into bite-sized pieces, pour the gravy over. We'll show you in just a minute. We'll let them cool a little bit. We'll be ready to eat.
Looks good.
We need more ice.
I'll do
So
them
this
the
is
next
how
time
you eat
and
this.
you'll see.
Shay does everything better than me. I didn't know if y'all knew that, but he does. He thinks he does. So you go right ahead and think it. I'll let you.
Why didn't the boys go to school?
It got canceled.
For what?
Good
Hey, look
morning.
at our old man. He went from 21 to 55. Some breakfast, the fancy cook. Minus 1 cinnamon roll because she couldn't get the icing on it. So one person is going to be less 1 cinnamon roll.
This has really bothered you. This has really disturbed him. That I've been doing this for 12 years. 12 years. He's never known.
I'm just now finding something out. That's
I didn't know it was a secret.
disturbing. And 1 cinnamon roll. That poor cinnamon roll. It wants to be eaten.
Well, go eat it.
But it
Put
wants
some chocolate gravy
it
on
wants icing on it. Like it's sad over there that it didn't get icing on it.
Well, this does need to be documented. We don't eat breakfast that often. And it is breakfast because it is before noon. It's 11:45. As long as we do it before noon, we call it morning, right? Is that how we roll?
We love breakfast. Just not at breakfast time. Where most people consider breakfast.
No, we eat, y'all like breakfast at night. Do any of you out there eat breakfast at night? Waffle House. Dad's breakfast is the best though.
He makes the best waffles.
He does. He does.
I like waffles.